an emergency move. So when you hear emergency move, and I'll write this down too. Forgot my towels. So I'm gonna buy towels to wipe this board, so I'm just gonna use this. It's not a big deal. So let me see, emergency move, emergency move. This means that you, as the EMT, will not take spinal precautions. That means you're not going to check to see if they have a spinal injury, if they have a head injury. You're not going to wait to put a C-collar on this patient. You're going to get them the hell out of the situation and get them to a safe area as soon as possible. That's what this means. So what is a dangerous situation? When you see a patient and you're like, oh crap, this patient needs to be extricated from that situation ASAP, like right now, like yesterday. Well, how about if the patient is in the car and there's a lot of smoke around the car, right? There's not a fire yet, but there's a good possibility of a fire developing. That's a situation where I would take the patient out ASAP. Gasoline around the vehicle also, that's another one. Also, if your patient they're in a very confined space, they fell down somewhere, but you can actually reach out and get them, and they have a severe arterial bleeding discussion now, but you don't have enough space to stop that bleeding. You would take them out immediately, stop that bleeding, and then treat them appropriately. Also, if they're in a car, right, they're in cardiac arrest, you would take them out without even thinking about it and start CPR. These are all situations where they're all life-threatening, right? So it's a life-threatening situation where you can't wait to do anything else. You have to take them out of that environment first and then take care of everything else. So an emergency move is, just to kind of reiterate, an emergency move is when you do not take spinal precautions. You pretty much see them, you recognize that it's a life-threatening situation, and you take them out, okay? So that could be, again, arterial bleed, smoke in a car, CPR is needed, right? And now we have, okay, so that's an emergency move, when you would do it, and what it is. Now let's go into an urgent move. So an urgent move is kind of the same thing, except you do take a spinal precaution. So move ASAP. But you do take spinal precautions. So when would you do these things? So this would be, let's say, if you have to ventilate your patient. So let's say a vehicle is always a perfect example for this, but they don't necessarily have to be in fact in a vehicle though. So let's say your patient is in a vehicle though. They're kind of confined, but you can take them out if you want to. If they're in respiratory distress, maybe failure, going on into arrest, like they're in that one zone where they're mentally altered, they're in and out, and you know you have to breathe for this patient, right? For this situation, it's a big deal, but it's not life-threatening right now. So you can maybe, check the spine real quick, the head, put a C-collar, and then take them out, put them on a board, or put them on a keg. And then once they're out on a keg, have them semi-collar and start breathing for them, right? Because you have to get them out of there ASAP, but it's not such a life threat where you can't take spinal precautions. Also, shock management. If your patient is showing signs of shock, cool, timing diaphoretic, vitals are kind of whack, they're kind of out of whack. That's when it's not an immediate life threat, but your patient is declining and you have to get them out of there ASAP, but you still have enough time to kind of play and take spinal precautions. So that's an urgent emergency move. An urgent move. All right? that's when you want to extricate them rapidly, but there really isn't life threat, but they do need some medical attention, all right? So you want to take spinal precautions and take them out of there ASAP. So on a test, when you see this, you see patient needs CPR, arterial bleeding, there's smoke, a hazard, you need to take them out like ASAP without any spinal precautions. It's called an emergency move. Their patient has a respiratory issue. I'll write this down. So some kind of respiratory issue. Signs of shock maybe. You know, things that can definitely progress and be worse in a little bit, but aren't going to kill them right now. For these situations, you would do a urgent move, okay? Now, a non-urgent move, you would do a non-urgent move. When the patient is stable. So, if your patient has stable vital signs, they're talking to you, they're shooting the shit pretty much, not a big deal. You can take your time, do a full body assessment, a rapid assessment, a focused assessment. You can do whatever you want, and then carefully, slowly take him out of the vehicle, take him out of the situation, put him on a seat collar, put him on a board. That's what a non-urgent move is. You're pretty much taking your time with this patient. And you're even waiting for fire if you need fire to break stuff and get them out of the space or wherever they're at. So there we go. That's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video for EMS or EMT. Make it easy. Take care. Bye.